Welcome to the Talk with John channel, your go-to place for great stories and helpful advice after 50. I am John. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on more important conversations. What's today's topic? Why do women stop liking their husbands as they get older? Marriage is a journey, one that shifts, evolves, and sometimes quietly falls apart. Not every marriage ends in a dramatic explosion. It's not always about a heartbreaking betrayal or a heated argument. Most marriages don't collapse that way. Instead, they fade. A wife, after decades of marriage, starts to feel distant. She no longer looks at her husband with admiration. She no longer anticipates deep conversations. She no longer craves intimacy. The love doesn't vanish in one defining moment. It erodes through unspoken words, fading touches, and quiet disappointments that accumulate over time. This is the story of Linda, 62 years old. When she was young, she loved her husband deeply, passionately. They would spend hours talking under dim lights, holding hands as they walked, exchanging tender glances that spoke louder than words. But now, when Linda looks at the man sitting across from her at the dinner table, she no longer feels the same. He's still there, but between them lies an invisible wall, a silence that stretches across the years. The conversations that once sparked laughter and excitement have been reduced to mundane questions about dinner and unpaid bills. The affectionate touches, once spontaneous and full of warmth, have disappeared. Their home, the one they built together, now feels like a place where two strangers coexist. Linda isn't angry. She isn't resentful. She's just empty. So what happened? This is a reality many long-term couples face, yet few talk about it. Love doesn't disappear overnight. It fades slowly over years of neglect, unacknowledged efforts, and unmet emotional needs. Women don't stop loving their husbands just because they grow older. But as time passes, they begin to realize that marriage no longer feels like what they once imagined. They have spent their lives loving, sacrificing, and caring. And in return, they feel overlooked, taken for granted, and forgotten. They are no longer the women their husbands cherish. They are simply a part of his life, like a habit, something familiar, but no longer special. So what's the real reason? Why do so many women, after years, sometimes decades of marriage, start to feel like they no longer want to be with their husbands? Let's uncover the painful truths no one talks about. And more importantly, if you're a husband, what can you do before it's too late? Have you ever felt this way, or do you have a story to share? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe for more honest discussions about love, marriage, and relationships. Now, let's dive into the reasons why love fades and what can be done to save it. 1. The emotional burden, when she carries everything on her own. Lisa was once full of life. She loved planning family vacations, adored the joy on everyone's faces when she cooked a warm meal. She remembered every birthday, every little detail about her husband, the tie he preferred, his favorite meal, the small habits he had every morning. But over the years, those things stopped feeling like love and started feeling like obligations. Every morning, Lisa was the one who woke up early to prepare coffee. Every night, she was the one who made dinner, cleaned up, while her husband watched TV. When their children had problems, she was the one to figure out the solution. When their aging parents needed care, she was the one to take them to appointments, to make sure they had their medication. And her husband, he was just there. No words of appreciation, no warm embrace after a long day, no realization that everything he took for granted was built on her silent sacrifices. Lisa didn't expect a standing ovation. She didn't need gifts or grand gestures. She just needed to know that he saw her, but he didn't. So she smiled, kept going, told herself it didn't matter. Until one day, it did. Little by little, Lisa felt herself wearing thin. Dinner stopped feeling like an act of love and started feeling like another exhausting task. Vacations didn't excite her anymore because she knew she would be the one organizing everything while her husband just packed a bag and showed up. She began to feel like a caretaker, not a wife. And when a woman feels like she is only serving a marriage, she starts to pull away. Not because she doesn't love him, but because she's too tired to keep trying. 2. A lack of meaningful communication. Do you remember when your conversations were full of laughter? When you would stay up late talking about the future? When was the last time your husband asked, "What are you thinking?" Or, "How do you feel?" Now, the only words exchanged are about schedules, bills, and logistics. There is no more curiosity about her. No one asks about her thoughts, her feelings, her dreams. Lisa used to try, but how many times can a woman share something meaningful only to be met with a distracted nod? How many times can she open up only to realize he isn't really listening? So she stops, because what's more painful than not being answered is realizing that no one is even asking anymore. 3. Housework isn't just housework, it's loneliness. Lisa doesn't mind washing the dishes. She doesn't mind doing the laundry. She doesn't mind tidying up. What she minds is doing it all alone. She minds seeing his socks on the floor, knowing that if she doesn't pick them up, no one will. She minds looking at a sink full of dishes, knowing that if she doesn't wash them, they'll stay there. She minds not having a partner, but instead feeling like the unpaid housekeeper of the marriage. And one day she looks at the man she once loved with all her heart and wonders, is this the life I want for the rest of my years? 4. When she realizes life is too short. Lisa has lost friends. She has attended funerals. She has watched time slip away, knowing that no one can hold on to it forever. And then she starts asking herself, am I truly happy? Do I want to live this way for another 10, 20 years? And if the answer is no, she doesn't get angry. She doesn't fight. She just gives up. Not because she no longer loves her husband, but because she has spent a lifetime loving someone who has forgotten how to love her back. Finally, love doesn't die with age, it dies when we stop caring. Marriage doesn't break in a single moment. Love doesn't fade just because two people grow older. It disappears through the years of unspoken words, of neglected affections, of quiet disappointments. Not because of one big mistake, but because of the little things we forget to do. When a wife stops trying, it's not because she stopped loving. It's because she grew tired of loving alone. But if love can fade, it can also be revived. A simple thank you, a small act of appreciation, a moment of real listening. Marriage is not a destination, it is a choice. Every day, even when the years have changed us. Have you ever felt invisible in your marriage? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if this video resonated with you, subscribe so you don't miss the next conversation about love, marriage, and relationships. You deserve love and joy at every stage of life. Thank you for watching Talk with John channel. See you in the next episode.